the right stuff, baby.
Can you believe it's been 41 years since 5 boys from Boston turned the music world upside down? How big did they get? Let's just say, in 1992, one of their shows in South Korea got so crazy, it caused a stampede that tragically left 1 fan dead and dozens injured. Yes, they were that huge. From selling out arenas to having their faces slapped on everything from lunchboxes to bed sheets, NKOTB owned the late 80s and early 90s, but their journey was something else entirely. Here's how it all went down. So let's rewind to the early 80s, when music producer Maurice Starr struck gold with an R&B boy group called New Edition. Yes, he was the guy behind hits like Candy Girl, turning 5 black teens from Boston into overnight stars. But before the champagne could settle, things went left. Starr, real name Larry Johnson, got the boot. Why? Allegedly, he was skimming money off the top. Yes, embezzlement. Now, instead of crawling into a corner, Starr decided to clap back with what looked a lot like revenge in a shiny white package. Alongside his business partner Mary Alford, he set out to create a white version of New Edition. His words? Not ours. Petty? Calculated? Genius? You decide. That mission kicked off with a 15-year-old from the tough streets of Dorchester, Boston, Donnie Wahlberg. Donnie wowed Starr with his freestyle rap on the spot, and just like that, he was in. Not long after, Donnie's younger brother, Mark Wahlberg, yes, future Hollywood heartthrob Marky Mark, also joined the lineup. So did their friend Jamie Kelly. Donnie wasn't done recruiting, though. He brought in Jordan Knight, whose voice and dance moves earned him a spot. Then came Jordan's older brother Jonathan, who just didn't want to be left behind. Finally, Donnie's breakdancing buddy Danny Wood came through and sealed the deal. Now, before they became the new kids on the block, Starr decided to call the group, wait for it, Ninuk, pronounced Nanuk. We have no idea what that means. Even the group members were like, "Sir, what?" In Boston, during the early 80s, schools were being desegregated, meaning students from predominantly black neighborhoods were bused to schools in other areas to mix things up. For the new kids, this experience not only exposed them to new music and cultures, but also made them comfortable working in predominantly black neighborhoods later on. But things shifted quickly. Mark Wahlberg, yes, that Mark, left the group, saying he preferred stealing cars or playing basketball. Thank God he found movies instead, right?
I went up and I asked where the cough syrup was. I didn't even have a cough. And I almost bought it.
Jamie Kelly also dipped, and his reason remains a mystery. So, Starr needed a 5th member, and after a failed round of auditions, he turned to Joey McIntyre, a 12-year-old local who had performed in community theater. Joey wasn't keen on the idea at first, but after nailing his audition with LOVE, he was in. Though, the hazing from the older guys almost drove him out until Donnie called him and convinced him to stick it out. Their early gigs were far from glamorous. Talent shows, retirement homes, and even a men's prison. But one notable performance at the Franklin Park Kite Festival really tested them. The crowd wasn't having it and started throwing things at the band. But they didn't back down. Eventually, the crowd gave them a round of applause for sticking with it. So, in 1986, the new kids on the block finally scored a deal with the R&B division at Columbia Records. But here's the thing. Ninuk? Yeah, the label wasn't exactly feeling it. And honestly, who could blame them? It sounded more like the name of a weird food dish than a boy band. The boys didn't like it much either, so they jumped at the chance to change it to New Kids on the Block, which was actually the title of a rap song Donnie Wahlberg had co-written. I mean, now that's more like it, right? Even though they were white teens, their music was all about that black influence. Rap and R&B, baby. Starr's plan? Get the black audience first and then move over to the white crowd. Well, that plan didn't exactly take off with their first album. Only one track, Be My Girl, made it to Billboard's Top 100. The new kids had to convince the label to let them make a second album, and luckily there was still someone at Columbia who believed in them, so they got the green light to move forward. By 1987, they were back at it, working on their second album. They were recording at Star's house, which was, well, not exactly a state-of-the-art studio. No soundproofing, no fancy equipment, but the boys were starting to take charge. While Star was still writing the music, they pushed for more creative freedom and started adding their own personal touches to the tracks. By 1988, they dropped their second album, Hangin' Tough. Star still wanted them to win over black audiences, so they released the video for Please Don't Go Girl to BET and pushed it to black radio stations. But even with that, the song didn't blow up like they hoped. Yes, it was getting some airplay, but nothing major. Then, out of nowhere, a DJ in Tampa, Florida decided to give the track a spin. And guess what? The song became the most requested on the station. Now that's when things started changing. Columbia jumped on the hype, put more money into promoting the band, shot a music video, and made sure it was getting played everywhere. Before they knew it, Please Don't Go Girl hit the top 10 on Billboard's Hot 100, their first big hit. And just like that, the New Kids on the Block were no longer just another boy band who couldn't catch a break. They had officially found their fan base, and it was made up of dedicated young girls ready to scream and support them every step of the way. By the summer of 1989, the New Kids were on fire. Hits like the title track, Hangin' Tough, and Cover Girl kept climbing the charts, and by the end of the year, their album had gone 8 times platinum and claimed the #1 spot on the Billboard 200. They also made history as the first teen act to score 5 top 10 hits from a single album. Not bad, right? Then came Merry Christmas in the Fall, another top 10 album, with the hit This One's for the Children. The group donated all proceeds to United Cerebral Palsy, a cause close to their hearts. By 1990, Hangin' Tough had spent 132 weeks on the charts, snagging 2 American Music Awards for Best Pop Rock Album and Best Pop Rock Group. In 1990, they followed up with Step by Step, which was more of a collaboration, with the group contributing to half the songs. The title track went #1 on the Hot 100, becoming their biggest-selling single. Step by Step went on to sell 20 million copies worldwide, and in just one summer, the boys pulled in a massive $74 million on their Magic Summer Tour. That tour had a whopping 3.2 million fans in attendance, making them the top-grossing touring act of the year. And let's not forget the merch. $400 million in sales in 1991. We're talking lunchboxes, dolls, comic books, you name it. Seriously, that's crazy money for the early 90s. They were basically the BTS of their time. In fact, that same year, they topped Forbes' list of highest paid entertainers, ahead of legends like Michael Jackson, Madonna, and Prince. Let that sink in for a second. But of course, there had to be a spoiler, and his name was Greg McPherson. At the peak of their fame, the New Kids were hit with some serious accusations. Gregory McPherson, an associate producer on one of their albums, sued the band's manager, Maurice Starr, claiming the guys were lip-syncing. McPherson alleged that it was actually Michael Johnson, related to Starr, and Starr themselves doing the singing, with the band just pretending on stage. He even said it was happening on their very first tour and in their Hangin' Tough music video. Yikes! The New Kids, however, weren't about to let it slide. When they appeared on the Arsenio Hall show in February 1992, they made sure to sing live to prove they could. McPherson initially demanded $21 million, but he withdrew the lawsuit and admitted the band might not have lip-synced after all. Still, the accusations took a toll. By 1994, with sales slipping and the music scene changing, things weren't looking good. Jonathan was the first to exit the group, saying he just felt it was time. But in truth, he was battling anxiety and panic attacks, something fans didn't know until his emotional 2001 interview with Oprah Winfrey, where he was clearly struggling. With their 4th album, Face the Music, failing to make an impact, the band called it quits in 1994. And just like that, they disappeared for 14 years. In 2008, New Kids on the Block made their grand return with The Block, their first new music in 14 years. And guess what? It felt like the good old days again. They've been touring like crazy ever since, even teaming up with big names like Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, Boys II Men, TLC, and Paula Abdul for some epic joint performances. In 2014, they earned a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and have sold over 80 million albums worldwide. Not too shabby. Fast forward to 2024, and the band dropped their first full studio album in 11 years. Still kids. But not everything's been smooth sailing. In 2024, fans of Tomorrow X Together, TXT, raised some eyebrows over possible plagiarism after noticing similarities between NKOTB's recent songs and TXT's tracks. The controversy kicked off with Magic from NKOTB's Still Kids, which shares the lyric, "It's just like magic" with TXT's Magic from their 2021 album, The Chaos. Chapter, Freeze. There were even more comparisons, with some pointing out how NKOTB's Runaway seemed to echo TXT's track, 9 3/4, Runaway, from 2019. While some fans were accusing NKOTB of outright plagiarism, others were suggesting it might just be a case of shared producers or musical inspiration. Either way, it sparked quite the debate, with clips going viral comparing the two bands. So what's the gang up to these days? Let's take a peek. Jonathan Knight was the first to bail from New Kids on the Block in 1994, and let's just say it was a lot more complicated than a simple career shift. Struggling with his sexual identity during NKOTB's peak, he was pressured by the band's manager to keep it hidden, claiming it would ruin their careers if the truth got out. Eventually, Jonathan was outed in 2009 by his ex. He's found his true calling in home remodeling. Over the past 2 decades, he's tackled over 200 house renovations, and in 2021, he took it to the next level with his own HGTV show, Farmhouse Fixer. The show, which premiered in March of that year, is all about Jonathan bringing new life to classic farmhouses. Now, at 56 years old and with a $14 million net worth, Jonathan is thriving in a way that would have seemed impossible back in the day. And let's talk about his personal life. He's married to his longtime love, Harley Rodriguez, and Jonathan's honestly amazed by how much the world has changed. While his brother Jonathan was busy flipping houses, Jordan Knight was flipping the script on the typical boy bander lifestyle. Married to Evelyn since 2004, the couple has 2 sons, Eric Jacob and Dante Jordan. But get this. Jordan traded in his pop star life for stay-at-home dad duties. That's right, he's been all about making sure his kids get a childhood full of love and fun. But don't let the dad life fool you. Jordan's still got some music left in him. In 1999, he came back with a solo album, and by 2014, he was teaming up with Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys for a killer album, Nick and Knight. Their tour was a hit, proving Jordan can still rock a crowd. Jordan Knight is now 54 and has an estimated net worth of $18 million. While he's kept things low-key, he's got an eye for business too. He's put his money into restaurants, not just eating at them, but owning them. While the other new kids may have kept things low-key, Donnie Wahlberg went on to become the it guy in Hollywood after NKOTB's breakup. He swapped his boy band mic for a police badge and became Detective Danny Regan on the hit show Blue Bloods. The show ran from 2010 to 2024, and Donnie was at the heart of it for more than 14 seasons. He was so good that his character is even getting a spin-off titled Boston Blue. But Donnie's acting journey didn't start with Blue Bloods. He made his debut alongside Tupac Shakur in the 1996 film Bullet, and went on to feature in Ransom, The Sixth Sense, Band of Brothers, and the Saw movies. But really, it's Danny Reagan's role that fans know him for the most. On top of acting, Donnie Wahlberg's venture with his brothers, Mark and Paul, has made him a serious restaurant mogul. The restaurant chain even got its own reality show, Wahlburgers, which ran from 2014 to 2019. And if you thought Donnie was done with TV, think again. He married Jenny McCarthy in 2014, and the two had their own reality show, Donnie Loves Jenny. At 55, Donnie's got a cool $25 million to his name. Plus, he's got a blended family, 2 sons from his previous marriage and Jenny's son, Evan, from her marriage to John Mallory Asher. Danny Wood, at 52, is officially a grandfather, and yes, he's still rocking it. He's currently worth $25 million and is keeping busy in all kinds of ways. He's become a YouTube sensation with his channels, Danny Wood Official and The Woodworks. His fans get a behind-the-scenes look at his life, including fitness routines, music, and even his famous recipes. Wood's heart is in his charity work, too. He runs the Remember Betty Foundation, named after his late mother. The foundation raises funds for breast cancer patients and survivors, giving back in a big way. After a marriage that ended in 2006, Wood became a proud dad of 3. And despite his busy life as a father, philanthropist, and fitness enthusiast, he's still making waves with his NKOTB brothers. The baby of NKOTB, Joey McIntyre, might have been just 12 when he joined the group, but he's done pretty well for himself post-boy band fame. After his days with NKOTB, Joey scored a Billboard Hot 100 solo hit with Stay the Same in 1999 and dabbled in acting with roles in shows like Fuller House, Psych, CSI, NY, and a 17-episode stint on Boston Public. But in 2017, he found himself starring in his very own TV show, Return of the Mac. When it comes to Broadway, though, Joey really flexed his muscles. He took on the role of Fiyero in Wicked and later returned to the stage as Dr. Pomatter in Waitress. Joey's married to Barrett Williams, and they have 3 children together: Griffin Thomas, Reese Edward, and Kira Catherine. The two met when Barrett was a real estate agent showing him a house, and it was love at first sight. Joey's 53 with a net worth of $20 million, and it looks like his career just keeps going up.